Hello. So for my topic, I chose gaming in libraries. Um, I think gaming is a great way to connect with teens and bring teens in who might not come otherwise. Um, there are different types of games. There are video games, board games, card games. Video games, they can be on a gaming system or they can be on the computer. Um, that's they have their own sets of pros and cons. Pros is that the teens are really involved in it. They're really excited about it. They're creating stuff. They're completing missions or challenges. It's a great self-esteem boost for them, I think. And it's also nice because it's not something that they won't necessarily want you to play. They want you to be able to talk about it with them, but they don't necessarily want you to play, which was great for me when I first started in the teen center because I had no idea about video games, and so they got to tell me all about it, which made them feel so great, and it made me feel really more confident too because I could say, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and they got to explain it to me, and they get to be the experts. And sometimes that's what teens want, is just to feel like they can teach a subject. So one popular game for online is Minecraft, where you can play in different modes. You can play in a creative mode or a survival mode, or you can compete in different games that are on different servers. It's a lot like kind of virtual Legos where you're building stuff. Um, there's different characters in the game. Like, there are creepers that if you're in survival mode, you have to survive from. They're kind of like zombies, is the best description, I guess. That game is great. The article that I read talked about how a library had a Minecraft day, and they just gave the a question, what would be your dream library? And I think this is a great tool. A couple cons of that though. With video games, there's no endpoint, or there's not a a really concrete endpoint, so it can keep going and going and going. And something that I've noticed in the teen center I work in, the longer you're playing the video games, the either more hyped up you're getting, the more frustrated you're getting, the more or the less social you're being. So sometimes with the video games, I think you have to be careful of that. Board games are my personal favorite. They are, I think, a great opportunity to play more in a group setting. The one thing I've noticed is that board games and video games tend to be different crowds of people. It's not necessarily completely different, but slightly. I don't think necessarily the people who play board games are gonna necessarily be video gamers. I think they're two different types of activities. The great thing about board games is that you are more involved. You are talking with the teens. For me, if teens come in playing board games, if we have a board game activity, they do want me to be more involved in the activity. They want me playing. They want to beat me. They don't care about who necessarily wins as long as I lose, which is fine. But a con with them can be that pieces can get missing. That's a con that I came across on a lot of different sites. People can get bored of them easier. I don't know why. I think it's just that once you've won, it's not the same as in a video game where there's different ways you can win. And then finally there's card games, which isn't like a deck of cards. It's more card games. It's like when you're talking with teens, card games is more Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or Pokemon, which Pokemon you never know if that's going to be a popular one or not. I think it's more popular with younger teens. Older teens are Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic fans. Um, and those games are, um, they have characters and spells or weapons or anything of the sort. And what's great about them is it's never the same game. Like, there's a set of rules, however, depending on who's playing, the personalities of the people who are playing, depending on what cards get played, it's going to be a different game each time. And so that's really fun. Um, this is another example of where they want to explain everything to you, which for me was great because it's actually a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Magic is a game that I don't think I will ever fully understand enough to be confident in playing, but if a teen wants to come up and tell me all about it, I'm at the point where I sort of understand what they're talking about. Um, so I have a couple of questions in the um, text part of this for you guys, and I also have a link of board games that I've found successful and a couple of other types of games. And I also included, because what else, a list of books to link when you are having a program, might as well put books out there and try to get them going. And there are a ton of books that are really written for video gamers. Um, so yeah, thanks guys.